2-year marker and start allotting $100 a month or whatever your budget is and get there, because life is for the living. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world in general, and it's beautiful to see how other cultures and religions and practices and dances and music and regalia. It's a world of beauty out there, and this is our opportunity within this gift of life to experience that. So I just really encourage people to follow your heart and dream.
And my favorite of all their videos, my favorite part was when you said that I am an American over here.
Yes.
That made me feel so American.
You know.
Yes. I know there's some bad things, but that's good though. That's what we try to do, right?
You know, you're totally correct around that, because here in this country, I'm African American, right? There's so many labels and titles and divisions that are present in this country,
Yanni,
sadly.
Yanni.
You know, so over there, I was just American. I didn't feel any microaggressions. I didn't get any sense of racism, the things that often people of color have to deal with every day in this country, you know. So it was a relief and a sense of freedom. And that's why I tell people you always have to leave the United States. You got to get away from this country and experience life outside of this country, because everything's not like this.
Are you still sweating from the humidity?
I'm sweating from the...
Because there was so much good food over there, man. You have different food every single day. So what do you got, before we do the sponsor, what do you got kind of food for us today?
Well, definitely. I have brought some snacks from Japan, and I haven't tried any of this stuff myself. So the first one we're going to try it says caramel corn. So I'm assuming that it's like a corn puff, and it's going to be caramel corn. So if you guys want to give that a try, and we'll chime in and see what you guys think. Tastes like like a breakfast cereal.
Where's the milk?
That's true.
Where's the milk? Yeah, man.
It tastes like Captain Crunch.
Yeah, I could eat this at 4:20 in the morning.
No, you could.
I was thinking the exact same thing, man.
We know you will, Mr. Trees.
What do you think about it, Eric? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I think definitely like some honeycombs or something like that is like the
Yeah,
closest
honey smacks.
I could. Yes, that's the one with the frog.
Yeah, sugar smack. Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
delicious,
exactly what it
delicious.
tastes like.
I'm all in for it.
That's what's up. How about yourself, Dr. Long? What did you think?
It's yummy.
Yeah, it tastes
You know,
good.
it's like, I mean, I can eat these watching a movie or something.
Totally.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Mark?
As we would say, marwe, which just means delicious. But it does remind me, like I was asking, where's the cereal? Because it reminds me of like, you know what thing that it reminds me of? This is a very American thing. Buc-ee's. Have you ever had like beaver nuggets?
I know what you're talking about. I haven't had it.
It's kind of like if it was toned down like 5 steps.
Okay,
So,
okay. I've seen people, because they have a huge following for the Buc-ee's in general, but I hear them talk about those beaver nuggets.
Yeah.
People buy them and eat them all the time.
If it was like toned down like by like 5.
Like something I gotta try.
And definitely, and then the other thing that we're going to try, never had these myself, and they smell a little weird, but it was in the dessert section in Japan, but a different palate, right? But these are crunchy plums, so if you want to give these a try.
That is not what I expected.
Yeah.
At all.
Not
It's
what I
more
expected
savory. It's more savory.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
an olive.
golden. I'm in for this. Like a pickle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like,
I like
it's
sauce.
kind of
It's
salty.
just
It's
like
like kind of salty.
It's one that's not
Yeah.
dry, right?
Yeah. Like there's
Those are good.
That would go good with a beer.
You eat those.
Do you have any Japanese beers or anything for like that?
I didn't know we got that, but it's not crunchy like that. But
No,
I used to suck on those things all the time in school.
this
Bet
would,
you did.
This would be
Mr. Tree.
this would be like an excellent like bar snack, because you know how you have the peanuts or something salty
It's
that
so crunchy. That was.
I have no
that
idea.
was super crunchy.
It was definitely unique, and it reminds me of an olive as well, a little olive-y esque kind of taste to it.
Yeah, but these do not go together. But I'm making it work.
There you go.
that
My
sweetness.
apologies for the upset stomach.
Oh,
so-
now it's sweet now. It's sweet and salty now.
Oh, okay, there you go. So,
savory.
and I have a few more snacks that I'll bring on another episode. They're a little more hardcore. One, I kept the tame ones today for our guests. I didn't want to, go off the deep end.
Well, these are really good.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that's brought to you by. That's it. Chubb's a smash burger.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
because we're bringing all kinds of stuff. But our standout of the week is Jason Lola from Wax Skateboard.
Awesome.
I want to thank you, Jason, for pretty much taking me to San Clemente on the train and teaching me how to use the public transportation in a cheap way.
Awesome.
And then we had a $10 piece of pizza at San Clemente and enjoyed the beach, socialized with some ladies here or there, and
Hey now.
came on back on the train. Got home before 5, and then I headed up the mountain. So we had a good time, and within a reasonable amount of time, and it was cheap.
I'm going to put this out there for us because myself, Jason, and Robert, we are going to be planning another beach trip with the train. We'd love to have some beautiful women accompany us. We'll take care of all the costs and everything like that. This is very affordable. That's what I love about what Jason does. It was like the train round trip is like $12, and then we could get some pizza and maybe some, drinks for those that drink.
And San Juan Capistrano as well. So that might be our next one. It's a
Okay.
historic district. So you can actually stop there for a little while and then, go, move on the next train.
Okay.
But I think there's a certain time they stop running or something like that.
We'll figure it
But
out.
Jason knows it also. Check out Jason Lola's page or Wax Skateboards.
Yes.
Does he have a specific one for his train stuff? Or
You know what? I don't know. I know he has the princess or something like that. Is
but
another one on
just
Instagram.
check out Jason Lola on Facebook, and he also posts. If you put Jason Lola in "I Love San Bernardino" by Robert Porter, his stuff will pop up too. He's been getting some incredible amount of views and likes.
I believe
dude.
you. That's awesome.
I'm
I gotta
like,
follow
wow.
y'all lead. Y'all are tapping into the community for real, man.
So his next kind of goal is to utilize the tram or the little bus up to the mountains.
Okay.
And that's free. So he wants to show, we can go.
Yeah.
You can go to the mountain. You don't even have to drive, right? You can
Totally.
even go to Big Bear if you want.
Totally.
Right? So you can go. It heads right up to Crestline. It stops at Lake Gregory.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can put your mom in the wheelchair, roll her on there, and then go on up and go fishing.
And yeah, we definitely have to bring him on because we had talked about doing a segment like once a quarter where we come in, where Jason will come in and share his adventures. Because like once again, I love the fact that he does this at a very affordable level. So people in our community that may not have the resources, hey, this bus is free. Save up, $10, $15 per person to grab something at the McDonald's at Lake Arrowhead, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to spend $200, $300, $400 to have some fun.
Yeah.
You could spend $20.
And the duck food's $1.
There you go.
And
And if we get really hungry, we got duck food to eat for $1.
well, it's more if you got kids, you can get for $1. You can
feed the kids.
Go have fun. Go feed the ducks and
There
fish.
you go. There you go.
And they'll be there for at least a half hour, and they'll be like,
There you go. We might even have some duck and trout that night. Just don't tell the game rangers.
So please make sure you head over to Chubsy Smash Burger. Me and Yanni and Victor are gonna do some type of promotion coming up
Yes,
here in a minute.
yes.
I had a few ideas that maybe a promotional fund that with a set amount, so no one will be spending money unless money is donated for a birthday smash burger.
Okay.
For whoever comes in, right?
Definitely.
So like we'll give $100 or $200, right? And we'll build up that many smash burgers.
Definitely.
And then if it's your birthday, you go in there and show your thing, and then one gets taken off of the money.
There you go.
And that way, Victor and Joe don't have to put anything out of their pockets.
Totally. We want to support them. The whole thing is to support Chubsies.
And I'm hoping that we could train the workers in there to ask, like, would you like to sponsor?
There you go.
Like
Yeah, pass it forward.
because there is something like like sometimes people will do that at some restaurants and they'll pay for it or whatever and leave the ticket up there. right?
That's happened to my family a few times where some people were just gracious enough and paid for our meal and we passed it forward. We paid for another person's meal, and you see that happen in the driveways sometimes, drive-throughs. I should say sometimes.
Starbucks, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
like
that
one
at
time I
McDonald's.
was in there and it happened like 40 times and they
That's
were all
beautiful.
like, really
That's
happy.
beautiful.
I thought that was super cool.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So just an idea. I haven't really talked to Victor too much about it. I want to talk to you first. I talked to him a little.
Definitely.
He said he put 100 in, so maybe we can all get together, do a powwow, and
Definitely.
and figure out.
If you could throw 100, I throw 100. We got 300 right
Yeah,
there.
I said, that sounds good, and he maybe do 100. And then I asked Jason maybe he could do like some kind of a flyer or thing. You know how like they have like a red line going up how much you have, or something
like a
that.
fundraising line or something.
Yeah,
like that.
so we kind of know how much is in there, right, and everything.
Totally.
So.
We'll figure it out, but I love the fact that we're thinking about it and we're going to manifest it.
Yeah, yeah, and do things without costing our sponsors money.
Totally.
Yeah,
because they're already supporting us big time.
Exactly,
So thank you.
right? We want people going there and buying stuff, right?
Totally.
I'd also like to mention PAL Charter Academy. Now, they're located over there on Blake Street, and they got a wonderful program. Please follow Robert Porter by I Love San Bernardino, and I post every single day. Or follow Robert Porter and look at my story, and you'll see how much I care about PAL Charter Academy. Totally. Now, they're just about to start their summer school program. Give them a call. Go over there and check it out. I mean, what's there to lose? I mean, you could let your kid sit there and play on their phone and video games all summer, or you could send them to school and they could get a great foundation for the next school year. And you know your kid might need a little help in the math and reading.
They may. And one thing that's big about summer school, especially for our students that are more focused, that want to get out of high school quicker, if you do your summer school classes, if you go 3 summers, you'll knock out almost, I don't want to say a whole grade level, but you'll be ahead. Like when you're halfway through your senior year, you already hit all your credits and you're good. You know what I mean? So for those that want to get out and maybe work and stuff, summer school is a great thing to get ahead in your education.
And the last thing I'd like to mention before we get into our language specialist and our Dr. Long is get out there and vote tomorrow, team. You cannot complain if you do not vote. Right?
Absolutely.
I don't care who you vote for. Go.
Amen.
Right?
Participate.
Yes.
Participate.
Now, educate yourself and go there done.
Of course.
Right? But seriously, like, it's important that we vote here in San Bernardino and in San Bernardino County. Mm-hmm. We have very low voting numbers, and that's not representative of our people. Right? A small amount of people is deciding how all the money is spent.
Basically.
Right? So why is that? Don't we all deserve how the money's spent?
Use your voice. Your vote is a part of your voice. Now, voting is not the only tool that we have or lever that we have to make change, but it's one of the levers that people have died and fought for and sacrificed for. So don't disrespect the ancestry and the sacrifices by thinking that your vote doesn't count. Your vote does count.
Yeah, and votes have been won in this area with 3 votes. Like, so you have to be on it, team. No. There is no I'm tired. I forgot to do the mail-in one. You just go down to your polling spot and do it. Take your wife, go do it. Take your husband, go do it.
And the sites are open. You can vote right now, actually, at some of the polling locations and voting centers that they have. And I think those stop at 8 o'clock. Hopefully you're listening to us and you're driving there right now.
Yes. I just want everyone to just get out there, make your voice heard, and hopefully we'll have some great numbers coming up here for we have another election coming right around the corner.
Yeah, man. I just hope that we could get back to a place where, we're not going to agree on everything. That's just the way it is. But we don't have to hate one another. We could disagree and see different approaches to try to address the issues that affect us all. But we don't need to live in this hatred. It's a choice to choose hate, and it's a choice to choose love. And I hope that more people choose love.
Choose love. And try to choose positive if you can, too. But don't be afraid to cry. That's what I've been learning
That's
lately.
healing. That's healing.
And I am trying to be honest with my feelings, too, so I don't end up being like some influencer that's fake on there. I want everyone to know, like,
shine your light.
Yeah,
your true
but
light.
like, I would appreciate if I post up a mega art post, I get like 100 views, but I post up a heartfelt one, and it's like 10,000. I'm like, why can't I get that? Anyways,
you got to cry during the mega art ones.
Well, with our first guest today, Mark, can you say your last name because I don't want to butcher it?
Arajo Levinson.
Levinson, and tell us a little bit about where you're from.
I'm born in Riverside, California. Say my age, I guess 1996.
Okay.
So I was born in Riverside, but I was raised in Moreno Valley.
Okay.
So that's where I'm from.
And you have a passion for mathematics.
Yes, that's what my degree's in.
Yeah,
So
and heavy metal music.
Okay.
Right?
hopefully it shows a little bit.
Yeah.
Who's one of your favorite groups?
Oh my goodness.
Slipknot?
Sepultura?
I mean, yeah, Sepultura.
Pantera?
I mean, that's the foundation, right?
I almost said effing hostile. I can say that, right? Yeah.
Tool? How about Tool? You rock with Tool?
Well, I have a tattoo of Tool.
Awesome. Rock
how you
out,
do
rock
it.
out. For real.
So, Tool. I have a typo negative tattoo.
Okay.
So for
I saw him in concert too. He came out there with a bottle of Jack Daniels, one of the 1.75. He's like,
Oh, Lord.
He's a big dude. He's like,
Oh gosh, I hear you. That liver was screaming.
Yeah.
well, he was a cool 6'7", so I mean he was pretty big.
I hear you. Need 2 bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they opened for Pantera over at the Orange Show, and man,
Oh,
that
man.
was an incredible concert.
That's beautiful. That's
I wasn't even around probably.
Yeah. In fact, oh yes, you were. It was 1994, so you were.
Twinkle in the
Negative
eye.
2. Yeah.
No, yeah, you were -2, didn't you?
Negative 2.
You're just
See,
a glimmering
that's
eye,
why
man.
I am not a math specialist. So, your math skills, which we just saw here, as you schooled me, they are helping with your language skills as well.
I would say that mathematics, because when people think mathematics, they think about numbers. They think about why is there an X in this? Why does X have to do with anything? But mathematics is just about patterns, recognizing patterns. So like that's why there's formulas. There's mathematicians that found a pattern in these things, and they're able to generalize it, right? So language is pretty much the same thing. It's just patterns. Like what changes in the world when you go from a present tense, I'm doing X right now, to a past tense, I did this, some time ago. In English, that pattern is usually at ed. At the end of it, I walked versus I'm walking, or I walk. So like it's recognizing patterns. So that's why I would say math kind of helps me with that, because I'm able to analyze things and to extrapolate patterns from those without being given this is what it is. And that helped me with some languages of California that didn't have, here's all the rules of the language. I had to look at old documents and extrapolate what the patterns were myself. So I would say math helped in that regard.
Awesome.
And then, I've always been told that math is a language within itself.
Yes.
So,
So how do you? So the Southern California language groupings are there's a lot of similarities in words, but there are some major differences as well. Let's say, for example, here with the Serrano and maybe the Gabrielino, what would you say? Like, is it very hard for you to, like, if you learn one, is it easier to learn the other, or?
I would say that it is a little bit easier, but sometimes they have their own like kind of characteristics. So luckily for like Serrano of the San Bernardino area, right, and the Gabrielino, like they're similar. Luckily, like they're close enough to be like, let's just say like first cousins, but there might be features that are switch that it's more actually like the Cahuillas, for example, more towards the east, or the Liceños more towards the south. Like sometimes they actually share characteristics that are not by their neighbors. So it actually is a little bit easier, but not like all the time. So if I may give another example.
Please.
So like on the Morongo Reservation in Banning / Cabazon, that there's the Cahuilla people and there's the Serrano people that live, they cohabitate the Morongo Reservation, and a little bit of the Cupeno people too. So they might think, oh, their languages are similar, right? And they're both part of the Uto-Aztecan family. But really, like, if you hear the two, there's kind of like an ongoing joke that's the Serrano language is out in left field while everybody else is kind of like, looking with each other. And actually, I'll go ahead and like give an example, actual physical example.
Please.
So if I want to say I'm talking in Cahuilla, I would say Nekuktashka. Nekuktashka.
Nekuktashka.
Yeah. So that's like I'm just talking, like, right I'm doing now. And then in Serrano, it's wara wara nine.
Wara wara nine.
Wara wara nine.
Wara wara nine.
Yeah. So it's like wara waran is to talk, is talking. But kuktash is talking in Cahuilla. So those two things are like, what happened there?
Totally different. I hear you.
But there are
So what is your theory of why there is that differentiation?
It's, I think it's because because the two languages are part of what's called the Uto-Aztecan language family. So that's the big language family that goes from Mexico to the Paiutes in way up north, and even I think going into like Idaho. But so there's a smaller families called the Cupons, and they're called the Takic. So the Cupons would be like, I think Cahuilla and I think Cupeno, and then Serrano and Gabrielino, they're part of the Takic. So they're like even smaller, like so they're related, but they're not completely like brother, sister, you know.
Separate migration.
It could be
Periods?
separate migration, separate interactions with folks.
Okay.
So, like, one actually interesting thing is that, like, you might think that they would borrow from each other, but sometimes, like, they would borrow from tribes that are not even, you would think, not remotely close, but that kind of shows their proximity. So, for example, like, there's in both languages, there's Spanish loan words, right? So, for like stove, things that the native people didn't have, they would borrow from Spanish. But, so for example, the word horse is a good example. So sometimes you might hear caballo, which, you know, like that's related to caballo in Spanish. But this, like, for example, the Serrano folks, they call it wa'uravi. Wa'uravi. And that's actually related to the Chemehuevis out near the Colorado River. That's not related to the Cahuillas, which they call pasukat, which is kind of like a big deer. You know?
I hear you.
So, like, they, for some reason, like, they would borrow, the Serrano borrowed from the Chemehuevi
Could
Island.
it be that is where they received the word first?
Yeah,
Right?
it could be through trade. Like, that's maybe the first time they interacted with such an animal. It was out towards the Colorado River. Or, you know, like in the Cahuillas case, they're pretty much just describing what it looks like. It's a big deer, you know. Or,
Without the antlers, right?
yeah, essentially.
And we did have elk around here too.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah.
And elk get really big too.
Yes, they do. They get
Definitely.
huge.
So, maybe.
Well, that's very interesting, dude. Like, so let's. What about a base word like water or sun or moon?
So water is actually a good example because you get to this is where you actually see the similarities. So I'll actually try to go down the list of languages that are actually around here. So Serrano, the water is bach,
Bach.
and then in Cuya it's bal,
Bal.
and then in Cupeño it's bal also.
Okay.
And Liseño, so that'd be like Pachanga, that'd be like Rincon, that's bala.
They bars and
And then in Gabrielino it's bar. So ba is like the, and then like the ending kind of changes.
the key.
Is
that-
yeah.
That's
The
like,
root. The root.
Is it the wet or what is it that the pa? What is that? Like the force of the water or?
It could, ba, who actually is related to ba, which is 3.
3.
And 3 is a very powerful number in the native communities. You know, they do certain things 3 times, or, and for example,
Three
like
puffs of smoke.
3 puffs of smoke, or like in the Kuya story, they went around the continent 3 times.
3 drops of the
Right.
excretions.
Yeah, so 3 is a very powerful number.
I was going to say it's so amazing how when you look at certain religions, 3, the Trinity, 3, it's so many around the world. These numbers have such a, and 3 and 7 seem to be ones that resonate from all different kind of cultures from all around the world, which is truly amazing. Like I find it so fascinating.
Yeah.
man.
Well, I guess 1, 2, 3. Like I'm trying to figure out. Like I've seen this before. Like 1, 2. Like everyone counting by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 5.
Yeah.
Right? And that sometimes happens with local cultures too.
Yeah, so
Isn't 3 a prime number?
Well,
3
that's
is prime,
true.
yeah.
That is
So-
true too.
That's all I know. I can say about it. But
You know,
you're welcome. You're welcome. But I just remember that being a focus on one of my math classes. 3 being a prime number.
yes,
Years ago.
yes, 3 is a prime number.
so many differences, yet so many similarities.
Yeah, it's and then I've also heard ba is like a power word, like, you know, so 3 carries some weight, you know.
This is very interesting, and
Yeah,
and
totally.
if you've all heard Pala before, there's reservations named that, right?
Pala, yeah.
And like in actually a casino too. Is there a casino?
Yeah.
Casino Pala.
Yeah, Pala, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like named after the root word of water, right?
Yeah.
Or water for that tribe.
Yeah.
yeah.
It definitely is.
So how would you like say like running water or like how would you add an adjective or a verb to it?
Well, I mean, actually, like, it's more like they actually do a lot of verbs. So, like, the word for river actually describes that. So, like in, man, I'm trying to remember the word now. I know it's Wanish in Kuya. Wanish, that's like something like with running water. So
Okay.
you're describing it. So there's adjectives is more like verbs in like these languages. So like if I want to, I'm trying to think of like a really like a specific example because these languages are very specific. It's not just like basic verbs like we have in English. There's like verbs like you did it multiple times, and the word changes depending if it's multiple times or if it's just one time,
Definitely.
or if it's one person or if it's multiple people. So a good example would be the word let's just say sick, right? And so in Korea, if I want to say like, oh, I'm sick, I would say nemuka, nemuka, I'm sick. But if I want to say we're sick, chemchehwen, chemchehwe. So muk, which means to be sick, or actually could mean to die. Chech, it becomes chech when they talk about multiple people. So it's these things that you have to kind of keep in mind is like things can change depending on how many people, who's involved, what's happening.
And also, there's something to be said for what words are available,
Right.
and who recorded them, and who was the informant.
Yeah.
Right. So how
Their
do
background.
how do you deal with like a word that like for example walnuts for mountain lion?
Walnuts.
Yeah. And then there's tuku.
Tukut.
Tuku. Yeah. Also, so it's two different.
Yeah. Honestly, I've learned that nothing is like I've always taught like nobody's like technically wrong. Whatever they heard is correct from their elders and things like that. And then sometimes it even depends on the family. Like my family, like I'm not saying my family, but like they might say, well, my family uses one nuts more, or my family uses tukut for that example. Or sometimes they might say, well, one nut is actually just like a cougar. Tukut is actually just a cat, like a wild cat. So they're not really the same. So like it really just depends what was passed down through families.
I hear you.
So and then what I take into account is like from those information, it's like, well, if I just write down, okay, this is what they heard, this is what we heard. So I'm not taking it as like, well, I didn't hear this, or
No, I hear you.
yeah. So it's like I just take that into account that this is what this family said.
So if you do you work in language still, or like
Yeah.
like if a word was good enough to be put into a dictionary,
Right.
but there was another, so you'd want to put as many of the words as you
Right.
could to be thorough.
Yes.
Okay.
So a good example of that is it's a very basic word. The word, and I'll use Serrano as this example, is the word for we, right? So Mr. Ernest Siva, who had the great pleasure and honor of working with, and such a blessing I was able to spend that time with him. He taught me like the way they say the word we. He says itcham for we.
Itcham.
But he told me like, well, my Aunt Sarah, who's Sarah Morongo Martin, which she said acham. So he told me like there's a distinction. So if you hear acham, it means we. So they're not saying it wrong. So he made sure to like let me know that these families said it this way. My family said it this way. And actually, when I would teach, I would make sure to tell both because they might be part of that family.
Definitely.
So I'd want to give them that little flavor that they had within their own family.
And what if you saw the word in writing somewhere else?
Yeah.
And you needed to know both, right?
Yeah.
This is so cool, dude.
Yeah.
But we can't talk about this forever. But thank you so much. And could you do a quick land acknowledgement before we pass on to Dr. Long?
I'll make it. I'll try to make it quick.
Okay.
You want me to do it, Serrano?
Yes, please.
Okay. Chunup Chahun Aayat Chahun Aay Kawach kind ip Chakakti Watchavatup Ive Tarvach Maranga Punyu Tarvav Chunyu Aayat ip Chakakti. So as I said in brief, as I said, our hearts are good. Our hearts are good to be here on San Bernardino, and I just said once again that this is Serrano land.
Beautiful.
Thank you so
Beautiful.
much,
Thank you.
Mark. That was an incredible interview. I really appreciate you.
Akopa'i. Thank you.
Dr. Long,
Yes, sir.
how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
You have some beautiful hair.
Thank you.
Definitely,
Thank you very
definitely.
much.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
I'm happy to be
So,
here.
how do you know Yanni?
Well, this is the connector right here.
The document there?
Mr. Long, William Long in the house.
Now he looks good in his orange shirt. You cannot miss him.
Definitely. We were just talking about it in the green room. He doesn't want me to say anything about it, but we connected many years ago when I was doing an outreach worker for the African American Mental Health Coalition, and we'll dive in deeper on with Brother Long in another show.
Okay, sounds good. Dr. Long, are you running for office? I heard.
Yes, I am. I'm running for the Riverside County Office of Education for Trustee Area 2, which serves the school districts of Harupa Valley, Alvord, and Riverside
Okay.
Unified School District. Yes.
Definitely.
And what makes you want to do that?
Well, my
Or before we dive into that question,
Okay.
if you could kind of give us like who is Dr. Long, like
Yeah,
where you're
yeah.
from, your origin story. How'd
Sure,
you
Yeah,
get
that's
I'd
true.
love to
That's
talk
true.
about that. Well, originally I'm from Tucson, Arizona,
Okay.
born and raised there. And when I was in my very early 20s, I decided that I needed to change. Nothing was happening for me in Tucson, and I felt I could do better coming to California. I was, at the time I made the decision, I was working with a social service agency that serves people in rural communities. And I loved my work. I was doing that work during the Cesar Chavez's
The farm
boycotts,
workers. I hear you.
the farm workers
yes.
union boycotts. I boycotted grapes, my favorite fruit, for a whole year. But anyway, I loved my work, and I said, I think I can do better in California. So I moved to California, applied for my first job in the area, and the first thing they wanted to know from me was, where did you get your degrees? Well, I didn't have a college degree, so I had to do other work
Okay.
to make a living. But anyway, and that's basically how I got myself started in education.
Okay.
Yes, I eventually did go back to school to get my bachelor's degree. My husband has supported me throughout my degrees. He's wonderful. He always said to me, "Whenever you're ready to go back, I'll support you." And he's been there every step of the way.
Amen.
So
That's
I'm
beautiful.
Who,
so
Dr. Long? I
thankful.
don't see him anywhere.
So anyway, that's basically how I came to California. I went back to college. I got a degree in sociology, and then almost right after that, I went to school and got a master's in sociology. And then some years later, I got a degree I got my doctorate degree, my EDD, in education with the
Okay.
focus on leadership.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And obviously that led you to running for office because that takes a lot of leadership skills.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah, so anyway, my background, my work in education was working with high school students, actually elementary school through high school, and college, working in TRIO programs, helping students prepare for college or prepare for doctoral programs.
Okay. Okay.
So, so I did that for, 20 years or so, and then I decided to retire.
Okay.
But I found out I wasn't ready to retire, so I went back to work teaching sociology at San Bernardino Valley College.
Oh, go Wolverines.
Good.
So I taught there for almost 10 years
Okay.
before I really
What
retired.
You got two retirements.
You got
10 years.
years later. And it doesn't sound like you're retiring to me.
But I love my work in education, and I've worked in school systems before, but I felt like it was time for me to dig a little deeper and maybe sit on some boards. I think I have some things I can offer
Yes.
to school districts,
Definitely.
and so that's how I decided to run for office. This is my second time running. The first time I didn't win. I ran for the school district, Harupa Valley Unified School District, or Harupa Unified School District. This time I'm running for a county position.
Oh, well, no, good on you.
Yeah. So
Man,
Definitely,
you don't win every race.
No, you don't.
No.
No, you don't.
Shoot, especially in this crazy game, man.
Totally.
I don't envy you. This is hard stuff.
It's hard. I've been canvassing. I canvass until I can't go anymore.
I hear you. I hear you.
But so anyway, we're at the finish line now.
Awesome.
So.
Tomorrow is the day.
Yes.
Tomorrow is the day.
Yes.
For our listening audience, what are the responsibilities for a county education trustee at the county
Well, I'm
level?
still reading and studying and figuring things out, but I understand that the trustees serve charter schools as opposed to the typical public schools.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I have served on a board of a charter school before, so I have some idea of how things work there, and I have some ideas about, what impact I might be able to make serving as a trustee on a
And you
charter.
just heard that one of our sponsors is a charter school.
Yes.
Yes. Powell
And
Charter.
I'm familiar with that school
Powell
before.
Charter Academy, yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Radden is cool dude. He's a
Yeah.
cool dude.
Definitely. I know there's a few candidates that are actually running for that seat, and I was wondering, what is some things that differentiate you from the candidates? Like, why should people go with Dr. Long in regards to that?
Because it's the
seat?
easiest name to remember.
That's good too. The simplicity. Keep it simple. Yeah.
Well, I notice, and I haven't figured this out, but a lot of people who sit on school boards aren't really involved in education, except for that their children maybe have gone to that school. But I think that boards, school boards need to have some people there who have a background in education.
Totally.
And I spent a lot of years.
You're bringing common sense on this show. Man, that just makes too much sense to me.
So I feel like I have some ideas and I have some things to offer that might make charter schools better.
Definitely.
And just seeing through our sponsor what they've done over there,
Yes.
I can't see the difference between the charter school programs and the public school programs, and I think there are students that are right for both
Yes.
Yes.
styles. But
Totally.
but it's good to have a choice.
Yes,
It's
yes.
It's great to have.
And
choice.
I've done some research. I talked to some parents whose children are in charter schools, and I asked them why their kids are in a charter school as opposed to a regular public school. And these were people who have never met each other, don't know each other. I talked to them in different
Capacities.
Yes. And ironically, they said that they started their child in a public school, but the way the public schools do things really didn't serve their children. And one of the big concerns that they talked to me about was bullying in schools.
Yeah.
And I know it happens in almost every school. But
Sadly.
these
Man, that stuff be happening everywhere.
Yeah,
All
it
the
doesn't stop
damn
with
time,
school.
man.
It even happens
Yeah.
with adults in
Yeah,
the
the
workplace.
adults be taking that stuff off the schoolyard, man.
Yes.
That's why we need to correct it in the schoolyard.
in the
Yes.
home.
Yep.
In the home.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
know that too well.
that was a big thing for them. And also, the other one of the positive things about charter schools is that the teachers in charter schools tend to be very creative in how they teach, and they recognize that the issues that their students have, and they don't change their curriculum, but they form their curriculum to make it easier for that child to
Palatable
learn
for
the
them.
materials.
Was that your experience as a charter school teacher?
You know what? My experience was, well, I have to get creative with the money, right? Because often serving on the west side of San Bernardino. I'm not going to mention the school's name, but often the children didn't have the supplies that they needed, right? So I was only making $125 a day as a long-term sub because I had a combination class and I taught for essentially the whole year. But it was like every day I'm spending $25 just to make sure we have the supplies that we needed to have, some snacks in the classroom, because some of this, not everybody was.
The life of
getting
a
them
teacher right there.
Yeah, it's so much more than just curriculum and lesson plans.
Absolutely.
You play so many roles of a mentor, a father figure, security, the things, and not just for children, for the parents as well, right? So it's so much that goes into teaching. So more power to all those that have a passion for teaching, because I really feel like if you don't have a passion for it, you're doing a disservice.
Yeah.
So if you're not passionate about teaching and empowering our youth, please do find something else to do, because you could be doing more damage than positive when it comes to that. But I know that we wanted to talk about your current campaign, and we want people to come out and rock the vote tomorrow when we all go out and vote for those that haven't. I vote by mail and voted like 3 weeks ago. So, and I'm done with it, right?
Yeah.
But we want everyone to come out and rock the vote. But I know you're also a very active participant in the National Council of Negro Women, and I know you
Yes.
guys have a plethora of events coming down the pipeline. But could you share a little about, this is one of the newer chapters, I believe, in Riverside.
Yes. So I belong to the Riverside section. We call our chapters sections
Okay.
of the NCNW, the National Council of Negro Women. And my my section is in Riverside, and we're a relatively new section, nationally speaking, and so we're doing a lot of things.
I know you guys are.
And I can tell you some of those
Please,
things.
please.
Recently, we actually had a Get Out the Vote webinar where we invited our members, our affiliates, and people in the community. And this was in conjunction with the Riverside County Registrar's Office.
Okay.
We had a webinar on how to vote, the importance of voting, how to vote, where to vote, who's eligible to vote. And so we were excited about that.
Awesome.
We also learned one of the things, I'll just throw this out. If you're a formerly incarcerated person,
Okay.
you're allowed to vote.
Yes.
You just have to re-register, and there's some things you have to do. But as long as you're not incarcerated, you're allowed to vote. So I just
In
want
the state
people
of
to know.
California.
In the state of California.
That's very true, because
Yes.
different states have different rules. And even for those that are in jail that haven't been convicted of a crime yet, they're able
allowed
to
to
vote.
vote, yes.
They're supposed to make sure that those people being held in those facilities are supposed to have access to the vote as well. But often we don't see those done. So it's so many in our population that do have the right to vote that are under the misconception that they are
They
not
cannot
able to vote.
Yeah, so that's one of the things when I do my canvassing, I've heard people say to me, "Well, I'm not allowed to vote," and I said, "Well, if this is your situation, formerly incarcerated, you're not anymore." You can still register to vote. You can re-register to
Yes,
vote.
indeed.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And it's sad that in some states they don't want to go into that whole. That's a couple of shows right there.
Yeah.
But it's so sad that how there's a collective effort to disenfranchise voters throughout this nation currently.
Absolutely,
right now.
absolutely.
And you would
And
think
then-
that you would want people voting from every segment of the whole society, so we get an understanding of what everyone's going through,
You
right?
know, you would think, but I'm not going to mention the colors, but one side knows the less people that vote or the more suppression that they can do, and the lower the turnout, the higher likelihood for them to win. And then the other side knows the more people they turn out, the higher likelihood for them to win. So it's that constant battle of some groups trying to suppress the vote and create some new poll taxes.
And
with
they're
the-
all doing it under the law. Paying attention.
I don't even know if they're doing it under that. Because some of them say some
There
things
might
and
be
they just doing
lightning
some other
strikes
things.
coming down because I know a few people
Come
that need
on,
a few
Zeus!
strikes.
Come on, Zeus!
Yeah.
You know?
So, and I forgot to mention that I'm the social justice chair for my section, and
Okay.
so this is something that's been very important to me. I've been voting since I was 18. I think I missed one election. Because I didn't have information, I didn't know how to register. When I moved from LA County
I get it. When you came
to
out here.
Orange County. No, to Orange County.
Okay.
And so I've never ever missed another one.
So you were the reason that person won.
It was right.
Absolutely, that's
See, you have to vote, team. You got if you move districts, go figure it out. Seriously, but you can't do it right now. But you can do it for next election.
You know what? No, there's same day registration as well.
Today?
Yeah,
Right
there's
now?
same day registration as well.
do it.
So, and I know we're coming down to our last 5 minutes of the show, and I know that you want to talk about the Black Family Reunion and then the Juneteenth
We have our
event.
Juneteenth Gala coming up on Friday, June 26th. It's going to be held in Paris.
France or
Paris, Paris in the county of Riverside.
All right.
The other
Then-
parent.
the other Paris. And then the last thing I want to talk about is NCNW having their annual Black Family Reunion in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And that's going to take place on Saturday, July 25th.
Oh.
And we invite everybody to come out, learn about NCNW. It's going to be fun. There's going to be music, all educational things.
Beautiful. I love the work that NCNW do throughout the nation. And I'm wondering, is there a role that the men can play or husbands that can play to support their wives or their sisters or their mothers that are a part of that organization?
Yes, I can't remember what the membership is called, but we do have a type of membership where men can join.
Okay.
It's a women's organization, so they're not allowed to vote.
Of course.
But
Do we have to wear a dress or anything?
no, you don't have to wear a dress. And I will have to say, we have a lot of our husbands are very much supporters. My husband again.
They better be.
supports all the work that I do in NCNW. So yes,
Well,
men
it's
men
good.
can
It's good
come.
work. I
Yes.
mean, this is awesome stuff. And her husband is an awesome dude.
He
He's
is.
over there. He's trying to hide, but he's very jovial, very nice. This was a wonderful interview today. I really appreciated your insight into the Native American culture, Mark. I mean, seriously, like I've never really heard of that stuff, like on the air, right? So like to get some local language stuff out there is so cool. And Dr. Long, man, just hearing your journey and the fact that you actually spent some time on a board, that that means you can follow the money. That's
Yeah.
why we need you on there.
Thank you.
Definitely. If both of you can share with our audience how they may be able to connect with you or support your campaign or connect with you personally if someone wants to bring you out to in one of the school districts to share some of the languages and everything like that, how can people get in contact with you? We'll start with you, Dr. Long.
Well, you can look at our website, and we're online. We're NCNW Riverside.
.org.
I can't. Yes.
Something.
Yes.
Just put NCNW Riverside and the Facebook page should pop up as well as
Yes.
the website.
Yes. Absolutely.
And how about for your campaign?
For my campaign, it's vote DRJANET, vote Dr. Janet at
.org.
.org.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
Definitely.
No
definitely.
worries.
Just type it in there. Whatever pops up, once you see Dr. Janet Long, you got the right one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
How about yourself, Mark?
So if you just not to self promote or anything, but
No, self-promote. Plug
I
yourself.
was interviewed by the LA Times.
Awesome.
So if you want to be curious about this goober right here that's talking, feel free to read my op-ed that I wrote for the LA Times.
It's incredible. Please read it.
It was a couple years ago, and then also
What was the name of it again?
It was like saving indigenous languages.
Yes,
and
okay.
something like that. But then also, if you're interested, if you're learning a language, whether it be Italian, French, or if you want to learn Kuya Serrano or one of those, I actually have a YouTube channel. I have been inactive for a little bit, but if you want to see my past goofy self along my journey learning Serrano, I think it was in particular with Serrano, feel free to watch. And anybody that's learning, to stick with it, practice with anybody and everybody, whether it's learning a few words, knowing a few words, just share and learn different cultures, because that's how we all get together.
Yes, indeed.
Is learning about each other's cultures and getting an understanding of one another. That's where a lot of misunderstandings happen, because we don't understand each other.
So it says Haku Apai?
Hakup a'ai.
Haku Apai?
Hakup
Hakup?
a'ai.
Ai.
Hakup a'ai.
And I just wanted to clarify something real quick. It's votedrjanet.com.
Yes. That's simple.
Votedrjanet.com.
Yeah. So we
Thank you.
had an excellent show. Thank you everyone for showing up today. And Yanni, I had a great time today.
Definitely.
Glad you had a good time in
Definitely.
Japan and Korea. And thank you, Mark, for joining us, and Dr. Long. And Eric, this is Robert
Yes.
Porter and Yanni Locker with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show. And we are...